All right, y'all, we're getting started on today. We have our special guest. We're going to pull her up in here. Koko Love Care. Hello. It's loaded. I think it's loaded. Did I press it?
Hi.
How we doing on today?
Good. Everything. Today is such a great day.
I'm loving it. You got some good news? I know what happened.
Oh yeah. So right now I'm working on a technique to better detect different proteins involved in diseases such as cancer, Alzheimer's, and heart disease. And the technique actually worked. Is submitted for publication, so other researchers can now use it because the issue with a lot of diseases is that we can't always see what's going on. Science, everything is below the eye level. And so to be able to visually, see these proteins lose their function, progress through disease in real time, like I'm so excited for to be a co-author on this project.
I'm screaming. Thank you for sharing that with Luminous Conversations today. Oh my gosh. Y'all don't know that's big. I'm not like a scientist. I'm on the holistic end of things, but I'm aware of both ends, and that is big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, I'm so
I'm
happy.
excited. You look, we gotta have a right way of period, bro. The gratitude, yes. Woo! We loving the good news on today. Okay, so everybody. Thank y'all for joining. We have Dr. Koko Love, who is a biochemist, a USC doctoral candidate. It's going to be happening, y'all. Dr. Koko Love in the building. Thank you. She specializes in care for hair, skin, and overall health. All right. So, to get things started, tell us a little bit about where you're from, how you grew up, and how health came an influence to get you started, to getting into Koko Love Care.
Well, I grew up originally in Oakland, California, um, with my dad and my mom, and I grew up in Vallejo as well. It's in the Bay
Mm-hmm.
Area. For college, I went to Langston University, it's the HBCU. I love my HBCU.
Period.
And for undergraduate, for my master's program, I did my master's at Cal State LA, here in Los Angeles, and now I'm working on my doctorate in biochemistry here at USC. And it's been such a great journey, getting started and expanding my brand throughout the process. We launched in about 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, California is pretty expensive to live.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm a scientist. Like, why don't I just start, making my own hair products and my own skin products, and that could save me some extra money, you know.
Okay.
And then when my aunt, she found out, she was like, you know what? Send me some products, but you should also design like a herbal blend that's special for women to be able to support their overall health and put it into a capsule. And then when I did that, she loved it, and she was like, "You need to start your business." And ever since then, we've been designing natural products, but we also individualize products for people as well.
Yes. Okay. You be getting ahead of the game. You already answered questions. Oh, I got this. Yes. That's good. So I was going to talk about the influences. So I know you're vegan. When did your vegan journey start?
My vegan journey started in 2018
Okay. So
as well.
everything was going on in
Yeah,
2018.
because 2018 is when I started my master's program. So that's when I was trying to just have like a great balance
Mm-hmm.
of life.
Okay.
And at the time, I was meal prepping. And normally when you're meal prepping, see, was meal prepping soul food. So I was having baked macaroni and cheese. I was having collard greens. I was
Yes.
just just making sure I was eating good.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, even though I looked healthy, I was developing high cholesterol. And
Dang.
nobody could tell, my cholesterol is high. It's just something that happens
Mm-hmm.
internally. But if you don't get on top of that, that can lead to stroke. It can lead to heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
And when the doctor told me this, I was like, I have to change my diet. I have to try to eat a little bit healthier. And then I was having chronic migraines every day because I would read a lot. My research, it was, a bit stressful at the time. So I decided, what herbs, what things can I take that's natural to prevent these chronic migraines I was getting every day and reduce my cholesterol at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was going to the doctor, I'm like, do you have any natural alternative? Because even though I work in science, I do understand the power of what you do day to day matters.
Mm-hmm.
Eating a raw plant-based diet or just incorporating more whole grains and vegetables into your diet, it supports your health.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have, at the doctor anything natural. And even like iron. Iron is important for women, and I needed to have a diet where I can receive a lot of iron. And in the medical world, there's no plant-based iron, even though there's plants that have high levels of iron for our body that we could just eat or incorporate into our diet day to day. So when I was looking at those limitations, I was like, you know what? Let me just cut down. Um, on my meat intake, on my dairy
Mm-hmm.
intake, and just seeing, people. A lot of people are lactose intolerant, anyways. A lot of us are. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, let me just adjust it, and I seen my health improving. I seen those chronic migraines going away. I seen the cholesterol. I don't have that issue no more. So when I seen like all the benefits, I know I wanted to make this into a lifestyle, and not just for me, but just to share it with other people.
Mm-hmm.
The powers of understanding your body, and then incorporating a healthy diet every day.
Yes, yes. Okay, so talking a little bit about diet, because I mean, you're not just doing hair care, you're not just doing skin care, you're doing overall health
Yeah,
of the body care, and you've got some focuses that y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all they work. We're gonna get into that a little bit and a little bit later. So, as far as the diet, because I know I grew up with a lot of, southern, a lot of greasy foods and a lot of fried, a lot of
uh-huh.
carbs, a lot of sugar,
the
salt.
good the good food,
The good food,
comfort
I ain't gonna
food.
lie, it's good. Cause and then for me, like I gradually, when I started my food and health journeys of eating cleaner, I was still eating meats. Just was doing less fried foods. I did grilled foods.
Mm-hmm.
I was eating less meat because I don't think people know this. Humans, not many humans know this. We're not just technically built to just eat a lot of meat due to our intestines being so, so long and tight together, because it can get caught into
Mm-hmm.
different little capsules and stuff, and that's where people begin cancer from. You want to
Yeah,
say so? Go ahead.
yeah, because if you think about it, most of the animals we eat don't eat meat. Cows, they don't eat meat. Most animals are eating plants.
Hmm.
Chickens, they don't eat meat. So what we're really trying to do is we're trying to get the nutrients that the animal ate that was plant-based, and we can just skip that. We can skip that and we can go straight to the source
Hmm.
if we want to, but we just have to know how to do it. Because a lot of times when we don't, a lot of people deal with constipation,
Yep.
and the constipation can lead to inflammation. And when you don't have a bowel movement regularly every day, it's not healthy. We have to make sure we're flushing our system, we're cleansing our system, because it's not easy. It's not easy for some people just to
Yeah.
quit cold turkey and just go plant based. I personally didn't, but I know people who have.
Hmm.
But if you could just cut back, and just increase your, like I mentioned, grains, vegetables,
Hmm.
plant-based diet, understanding that our body is alkaline, making sure we're not eating things that are acidic, it makes a huge difference, just a huge difference in our overall health.
Yes, it does. You are on it, and with the, like you said, it's not easy. It's not, because you
No.
got I think about it, like even myself, we grew up in this thinking that I'm eating okay, ain't nothing wrong with this, or we this is how we live and die,
Yeah.
because we got I got family members that still to this day eat the parts of the pig that you probably don't need to be eating. We be eating all kinds of things, and the intestines. It's just, oh, we grew up on this, and so you got to literally unlearn these
Yeah.
ways of eating, these ways of being, even when it comes to your body and what we put on it, what we put on our hair, and because a lot of I'm not like opposed to just Western medicine, because I feel as though it has changed over time, got a little bit more sinister in how they making the stuff, because they did pull a lot of things from nature back in the day. A lot of those pills were less chemicalized. Go ahead, hit me.
Yeah. No, it's a way. A lot of medicine is plant based. And
Mm-hmm.
see, the thing, hey, it's my aunt. She's the one I was telling you guys about, who influenced me so much. My mentor.
That's the
She's on there.
thing. Yes.
She's from the
Okay.
hearts. But yeah, a lot of people, even though medicine, sometimes people just think of it, oh, this is just a man-made product. A lot of it comes from nature. The thing is, we just isolate different parts of the plant and then make a lot of it. And then we want to control it so that it targets a specific tissue. And see, there's a lot of good in that because it's specifically targeting, but the other side is, the side effects.
Yes.
For example, let's say a person that has sickle cell. Right now, they have a technique. It's called CRISPR-Cas9. It can go in and fix their DNA, and it can repair it so that that person no longer has sickle cell, and it's about to be released. But do they talk about the side effects of that? The side effects of that is that mutate that technique. Not only can it mutate the sickle cell to repair it, it can also go in and mutate your other genes. So you don't want that. You want something that's targeted and that's specific. Because a lot of times, like when we talk as doctors, we say the benefits, but there's also quite a large amount of side effects because it's research, it's being studied. So you have to, anything that you take, you have to take it with a grain of salt. Even on the herbal side, when you're creating your blends and you're trying to make it specific for your health needs, too much of anything is not good for you. Another big example is the coca plant. The coca plant, a lot of people used to take.
Uh-oh. You back? Okay.
It was getting them through their day to be able to get a lot of work done. And then researchers went in and isolated. They was like, what is it? What is it that is making them have so much energy? Let's take that out, make a lot of it, and then we can control how much energy and increase the amount of energy people need. So it was supposed to be a good thing, originally. But then what they took out was cocaine. And so cocaine comes from the coca plant. And in its natural plant form is very healthy, But when you take that out and you isolate it, now you have turned it into a drug. And that drug has impacted our communities. And then they decided to, let's make an alternative drug. What else can be made, besides coca? Because that didn't work out. They end up making, what was it? Was it methamphetamine? They end up making methamphetamine. So oftentimes when they isolate from plants, when we do that as researchers, the issue is that the side effects can sometimes outweigh the benefits, and then that's why things get banned and things get regulated. So really, it's a lot we don't know. It's a lot of things that research don't know. That's why I work in the field of developing techniques to be able to better, understand what's going on, how these processes work, how these things abide by nature, and how we can, support that. How can we use the science in a good way to, make sure we're getting adequate nutrients and restoring any chemical imbalance we may have.
Mm-hmm. you said something is bringing in the science, because a lot of the herbal people, you know, like even I was on the other end, I'm like, no science, get it out of here. But I have, like, over the years, I see the value in combining the two, and just like you are eloquently expressing and educating us on this, you are on it, and that is what we need to become more aware of for our success as humans, and to greater develop and evolve, not just, you know, oh, we don't need this. Because science, I've met a lot of science-based individuals who say, oh, we don't need that. We don't need the herbalist. We don't need the
No,
holistic.
no, I think that we all work together because I think that it's important to have doctors and people in science to be able to diagnose things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't have a method at the time to be able to know that my cholesterol is high. You know, I can say, you know, this is how my body is feeling. Like we don't have like the technology at home to say, oh, cancer is developing inside of my cells. You know, you want somebody who can go in and they can see. You know, they can see, they can detect those cancer cells so that you can have the proper treatment. But that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an herbal treatment. You know, herbal options are great. You know, when a person develops cancer, one of the first things they ask them to do is change their diet. And that's first. That's first and foremost before chemo. So I try to help people, you know, on that side. Before we get to the drugs, the medication, the chemo, what's the day-to-day life? Um, because it's so, you have to have both. You want a doctor for everything. You want your herbal doctor. You want your medical doctor. You may need a surgeon. You need different people to play different roles, but they have to be trusted doctors. And that's where the issue is. A lot of the trust loss for doctors. And I wanted to answer a question I just seen.
Yeah.
She asked, "What was my family's reaction to me changing to a plant-based diet?" I think it was like, "Are you still gonna make the macaroni and cheese for Thanksgiving?" You know, that was an argument, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because that's something, you know, that I make, you know, in certain dishes. Like if I put the neck bones, the pork and stuff and the greens, like was I gonna, you know, keep doing that?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I was like, no, this is my lifestyle now. You know, I did, you know, substitute the pork for them for turkey.
Yeah.
I tried to just educate them, and a lot of times, you know, I think that even if they don't change their diet, they're more aware.
Yes.
Because my dad, he grew up just eating potatoes and chicken and just meat. Like he don't eat vegetables, he don't eat fruit. But now he's watching like my daughter, and she's on a plant-based diet, and he's watching her grow, and he was like, how is she so big and she's vegan? You know, and she's chubby. Like, what is she? Is that normal? How does veganism work? And so now he's like getting into it, and he like agreed to go to like this vegan restaurant with me
Mm-hmm.
this morning, and I'm showing him. He'll come in sometimes. He'll be like, "What is that? That smells
Yes.
good. It smells like real food." You
Right.
know, so I
Not real
think
food.
that even though it's not for
Yeah.
everyone, I think it's important to educate, to share, and
Mm-hmm.
you never know. Like if they just keep being around you, they may
Yeah.
just, you know, incorporate it into their diet.
Yeah.
But you don't let it, if even if it's not their lifestyle, you don't let it, you know, change yours. You
That
know.
part. And just like with the family, like my dad, he grew up on pork. I mean, he loves him some ham hocks, and even my mom, like, but they have these things going on with them that is averse to them inserting any of that in their body. And I'm like, you know, XYZ, and then they have these side effects, and I'm like, I told you, but I'm not like I used to be. When I'm like, look, you know, I'm not going to run down your neck, but these things are causing problems. And
Yeah.
so nowadays they're more health conscious. They're more aware. They're taking certain things. I told them things about like black seed oil and
Yeah.
like sea moss and
Black seed oil is very
yes,
powerful.
is she legit, stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
my dad just got over something, whatever he had going on, and I was his health aide, but before he went to the doctor, so we was trying to get some of that clearing done. So they just, it's like you said, it's about their awareness and becoming like, do you want to feel good? That's what I be telling them.
That's
It's not Joy, you ain't gotta change your whole life. It's about balance at this point.
yeah.
That's what I do for them. That's what I tell them. I'm like, look, if you just take it easy on this for a while, do this and that, balance it out here a little bit here and there, you'll be fine. Nobody's trying to tell you to go full vegan. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't believe in that. That's not my that I'm preaching. Everybody needs to
I
be vegan. No.
I think that's what it's about, you know, because now my dad asked me to cook him salmon, you know, and that's nothing we ever grew up eating. So it's just like seeing the impact, you know, on people. Even my niece and nephew, I make alkaline smoothie blend, and you can't get sometimes you can't get kids to eat raw sea
Yeah,
moss, you know, but I blended it into their smoothies, and we sell the product as well in the drink.
it's good,
And
y'all.
they take it to practice. They drink these smoothies. They are now junior Olympic qualifying athletes. They are not playing. You know,
What?
they
God.
they get now they got their whole team like, hey, we want some smoothies too. So I bring the team, and it's just so I'm like now seeing all these kids, you know, drinking, you know, alkaline sea moss, and these are smoothies, and it's just like I think people want it to taste good because good food, you know, if you're an herbalist, a lot of times you could just take it. Like I could just eat raw sea moss and I
Take
can just take certain things and
it.
I don't have an issue
Me
with it. But
neither.
then when you're trying to be mindful about other people
Mm-hmm.
who are just in transition, well, how can you make it healthy and taste good at the same time without compromising um, the health benefits? So I think that's important. You know, when you're transitioning your diet, looking for recipes and just being open minded and trying, new things.
Yes, yes, that is what it's about. I love it. All about the process, taking your time, because I feel like people can get overwhelmed with this and that. So I do my best to not like overwhelm with information. I
Yeah,
give pieces here and there, and I feel like you are great with that and about like because you actually have consultations. Tell us a little bit about how your consultations will run before we get into the products.
yeah. So with the consultations, first, I may have people do like a survey, trying to understand, how is their diet, how is their lifestyle, what type of concerns that they're having, and so that we can design a product for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I have a product in mind, if it's not a product that I already have that's on my line, then I try to, specialize it for them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go through a trial and error part. Because when you first make the product, they have to test it. They have to test it, see if they like it. And sometimes, like recently, I had a customer. I posted this on my page. We made a CBD blend. Like they were in a lot of pain. And CBD, concentrated CBD, we make it about. We have a concentrated solution about 2,000 milligrams per mil. So it's great for pain relief, anxiety relief, and we made it for them. And at the time, they took it and they was like, no, it's not strong enough. I didn't feel the benefits. And mind you, my CBD body butter cream is
It's
really
strong.
potent because I
Yeah.
had people with broken bones, sciatic nerve pain, shooting down their spine, and they felt relief in 15 minutes. So I'm like, okay, you have to understand everybody's body is different. So I made it more potent for them. And then she called me. She was like, Kayla, my boyfriend, he woke up and he said he did not feel any pain. This is the first time he didn't feel any pain. And I was like, wow, that made me feel so good to know, okay, we found what blends. So that specific formula, I keep a log of like what works, for
Mm-hmm.
that person. And if they say, can you adjust it here, adjust it there, I'm willing to do it. And I think that it's a realistic thing. Some people think, oh, that's too complicated. So many people, it's not that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just make it because the product is already made.
Right.
So you're just slightly adjusting it. It's like when you go to a restaurant, you tell them, okay, but I don't eat this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have these allergies. I want you to be mindful of that. And I think that when you go through this process, especially in the beginning of developing your brand, it really enhances your products. you know, because some people just based off of consultation, I've changed products to a higher standard because then I'm starting to get more and more feedback about like what needs to be, you know, a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more stronger, or a little bit less. And then once you kind of get a happy medium of what people need, it changes the way you blend things and the way you do things. So I feel like the consultations, it not only benefits the people who are getting them, but it benefits us as a brand to better know what each person needs.
I love it. Y'all better get you some consultations, y'all. I'm telling you. Get your consultation with a personal health and goodness is going on here. So now we're gonna get into some of these products, y'all. Look, I am a believer. I told her the other day, I said, this is crack. I ain't had none in a while. My body was like, what is you doing? I need it. Like literally, like it's so beautiful. Let's start with the black soap. Just all of the ingredients kind of similar because I look at the website and it has the ingredients in each product. So are those the kind of base that you use in each of the products?
Yeah, so that's what we do. Like with the herbal blends. So we have, for example, um, for the herbs to support the hair and the
Mm-hmm.
skin, we like to be consistent throughout the products so
Mm-hmm.
that you're getting the same results and then you're getting a little bit extra here or a little bit more there. For
Okay.
example, in the black soap blend, we also incorporate sea moss. Sea moss is very important for not just only the internal health, but it makes the hair bouncy. It's like it's a gel. You
It
know, so
is.
when you wash your hair, you want it to have that springiness.
Yes.
But we also incorporate it into the hair oil because it has 102 minerals, so it can go into the scalp. So it's a little bit similar ingredients, but doing different jobs when applied in different ways. And our black soap blend is not very like concentrated because sometimes black soap it can be
Yes.
too hard. If you get the brick, it can be hard on your skin, and it can sometimes cause the skin to burn.
Yep.
So we try to balance that out with certain herbs that are anti-inflammatory, anti-itch, and different herbs that are very nutrient-rich to support detoxing the scalp. Because the black soap, it's a detox blend
Yep.
because it has to be. Your scalp is the foundation. You know, the scalp is the foundation to your hair growth. So we make sure that blend is incorporated with detoxing herbs like burdock and many others to support the hair health. And you can use it for your
Yeah.
whole body.
I did. Yeah, I use that black soap on my body every day when I had it, y'all. Oh my goodness. Like this is it's a renewal. Like you literally, I feel like I was shedding layers, like emotionally, like physical, because it's like I feel like everything is connected. So when you're cleansing one part of yourself, you're moving all around. But let's get into. I know we have the black soap, and then we have the hair oil. Y'all, you go if you have hair, it's gonna grow. Be careful, you know, because that hair is gonna grow. Like I got facial hair, and I was shaving more than I usually shave. I was like, Lord, I gotta get LASIK. Okay, laser hair removal. But no, for real, it was really just boom, boom, boom. So we got the cocoa butters. Get the butters in here.
Mm-hmm. So that one is the body butter. So it's a shea butter base, but it also has cocoa butter in it as well to prevent scarring,
Mm-hmm.
to prevent stretch marks. It's very nutrient rich, so it's infused with the herbs. We soak them in herbs for about 6 months, and then we incorporate those herbs because those herbs are blended into an alkaline oil that is infused
Mm-hmm.
in, and then it's mixed with the shea butter, and so that is super super rich.
Yeah.
It's good just for eczema. I get a lot of people who use it for eczema. They use it for their
Mm-hmm.
hair. Sometimes if you want to twist your hair, it's a good butter for that as well. But the shea butter it's one of my favorites. It's actually one of the first. Yeah, it is. It is one of the first natural products that I made, and I wanted to use the yellow shea butter
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times African Americans experience eczema, and the yellow shea butter is quite a little bit more creamier then the white shea butter, which is really good too. It just depends on your skin's needs. But then when you whip that and you infuse it with the alkaline herbs, it's really great for detoxing the skin. I also had customers who, like I said, not only deal with eczema, but other skin conditions. And it's so important. Those same detoxing herbs, not only, like I said, is in the black soap, they're also inside the shea butter. So it's like, it's an antibacterial, antifungal shea butter that will also, make your skin smooth.
Mm-hmm. Y'all, them butters ain't no joke. I had the yellow and the white butters, and the white one, it is lighter, and I have like dry skin, or at least I had moments of dry skin, and it's sensitive, pretty close, and it's sensitive. So that yellow butter, and I had the CBD mixed in. It wasn't. I know the assistant chemist, she told me it was a little thicker in the yellow one, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
well, we'll do both of them. And I did that yellow one, and it was I was using it everywhere, but I used the white one for if I'm out and about, had that one on me, and I could just do a face layer. But I just found my skin to just be transforming, and like I told my dad, because he wants to get some of
Oh,
your products too, by the way.
yeah.
We finna make an order tonight. But like I told him, I was like, when you stop using something that is so what is it, invigorating and life changing for your body, or like when you're even doing health center things, or you taking things in and you stop and you don't keep consistent with it, you kind of see some things
Yeah.
revert. So I was like, nah, I'm seeing this, so I gotta keep the progress going, so that it's one of those things, and it'll bring, like you said, that renewal to the skin. Like, it's just a full body care, and I think we have one more product, or one more product to share.
Yeah. Yeah, the oil,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I already talked about a little bit about well, I talked a little bit about our drinks as well.
Yeah, we
Um,
did. You did. Yes, you
but
did. Okay.
but with this shea
Oh,
butter, I wanted to add. So we
yeah, go ahead.
infuse that butter. Um, we infuse CBD into those butters.
Mm-hmm.
When we make the pain relief balms, because you don't want, necessarily for your CBD to smell like CBD, or you don't want it to smell like Vicks Vapor Rub. So we try, since everyone likes the shea butter blend, we infuse that with the CBD and we concentrate it. So when you get pain relief, you're not going to be ashy too. So
Okay.
you're getting a little bit of both. And then with the alkaline oils, like I mentioned, you can use those directly for the scalp,
Mm-hmm.
for the hair, for the body. It's a whole
It,
body oil.
it
And
is.
and
Oh,
I
go
like
ahead.
to use them as drops. A lot of people use them as drops as well. And I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted to say, with the drinks, like with the sea moss blends, so we have them in two forms. So we have them in a gel, and then we also have them in a drink. So sometimes people like to take a smoothie. I mean, not take a smoothie. Take a tablespoon per day of sea moss. But they may want to give it to their kids, or they may not be able to handle the taste of that Irish sea moss that comes from the ocean.
I love it. I just take it. Give me a whole cup, baby.
I,
Okay.
I know, but not everybody can.
I know.
Not everybody can handle it. So that's a really good way. And everyone I know, I need some water.
Okay, go ahead. Take your time, baby. Yeah, all right. And we got a question after we get finished with this part.
Okay. Yeah, so everyone I know, anytime I tell them take, the sea moss, once a day, when we blend it, because we blend it with passion fruit, we blend it with mango, it's very, very flavorful, and we use agave in it.
Yes.
And agave, some people can't have sugars, because certain sugars are too much of sugars because of
Right.
diabetes. So agave is one natural sweetener that we use that even diabetics can use. So it's sweet, but it's not going to give you that that jittery that sugar cane
Yeah.
does. So it's a lot better, in my opinion, to give to your kids. And like I said, every time people take it, they never take the tablespoon per day. They always eat the whole thing. So now we're switching over to just selling them in
Yes.
cases because people want, like my aunt, she's on live too. Like I mentioned, she asked me like, I need a case. I need a
Okay.
case of this, and I was okay. Yeah, we're gonna like probably within the next couple weeks we'll have it online to where we're sending everything out as cases, because we wanted to make sure that everybody has, like a winter healthy care package.
Yeah.
And we have capsules as well, so you can take your day-to-day nutrient-rich herbs. And like I said, if there's anything else that people may need, I'm always open to, learning, and so that I can just, make a better product for people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm one more thing on that butter, y'all. I forgot. I had the CBD one. I had pains and stuff. I was doing like, and I was like, where? Pain who? Okay. It was so beautiful. So let's get to this question. It says, do you think ADHD is like a self-diagnosis?
I think that you can be able, if you are familiar with ADHD and it causes hyperactivity, then you may already know. You may already know that you have it, and then you can go to the doctor and you can tell them, what symptoms or what you or the child is experiencing. But ADHD is difficult to medically diagnose because it's something that may be genetic. Unless they're analyzing your genes, they're just basically, looking at the symptoms you have and then saying that you have, ADHD. So it's really about how the doctor may be able to detect it. I know a lot of people that have ADHD. For some people, medication works for them. It helps them to be calm. For a lot of people, the medication doesn't necessarily always helps. It may be too calming to where it becomes depression, and that's not what you want. You don't want, and then if you come off your medication, then you can have mood swings. But I think it's very important just to not always just jump to, oh, this child has ADHD, especially like when they talk about kids in the classroom and they just not, they moving, they up and down. But a classroom setting, is not necessarily designed for,
Yes.
how kids are sometimes.
Yes. It's
And they
too...
even more so talk about it in boys. It was like Huey P. Newton, and it was another researcher, and they were talking about how boys, especially, they're supposed to be active. They're physically just naturally more active. Girls too sometimes, but a lot of times we have to, figure out how we can use that energy, how we can use that hyperactiveness and focus that energy, in a positive place. Because I've seen kids and people with ADHD that are brilliant.
Yes.
I know a child that had ADHD. She played the violin, she played the flute, she played many different instruments. She was a high performing student, and she didn't take the medication. The doctor, suggested that she take the medication. It just didn't work for her.
Right.
Her parent found that it did not work for her, and it was not doing a service. Like I said, I've had cases where it was the opposite. The medication, that's when they were functioning, they were okay, they weren't having mood swings, and they were doing well. So you just really have to say, does this work, for my child?
Right.
If you take it, monitor, what's going on, or even adults have ADHD, listen to your body. At the end of the day, nobody knows your body. As doctors are only making observations and doing tests, and none of these tests are 100%. None of these doctors know exactly what you're feeling and what you're experiencing. So you have to listen to yourself first and last. That's the most important thing when it comes to it.
Yes, I love that. And what you said about finding a better way to utilize that energy, because so many times we can make it seem, or the people who are under these diagnoses, it seem like, oh, it's something wrong with me. No, it's nothing really wrong. It's just redirection is necessary. And even like you said earlier, it goes back to what we're doing every day. What is the diet? What is going on? What are we putting in? And like we have been coming saying, there could be some side effects from these medications that they may get from the diagnosis of ADHD and things like that. And it may work for some, may not work. But like there's side effects to it all. And so I was going to ask you personally, do you offer consultations for those who may deal with certain things like that?
I think for things like that, I would refer them more to a doctor that's more in their field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can give my advice, I can give my personal opinion, but I'm not certified in like ADHD research and
Well, for more
can tell you
of
what.
for more so of the symptoms, like would you be able to come up with some things that may help with their nervous systems? Because I feel like
Yeah,
that's like a nervous system.
I would definitely recommend certain
Mm-hmm.
certain herbs. You know, I was just having this conversation 2 days ago. You know, about like there's typically like when a person like experience like let's say schizophrenia, they say, oh, it's a chemical imbalance. You know, they need certain medication, and then it's like a lot of times they don't do any, they just ask about your behavior. You know, okay, are you having lucid thoughts? You know, are you acting this way or that way? You know, and they just, okay, give them this medication. But I was like, you know, we need to start looking into herbs that are specific for chemical balance in the body. You know, what causes a chemical imbalance in the brain? If they know it's an imbalance, they know exactly what chemicals there are, and I can look those up and then find the plants, you know, that have those chemicals, you know, that we naturally need. You know, one of them is called blue vervain. Blue vervain is a really good one for restoring chemical balance in the body. It helps remove a lot of anxiety. There is also Bacopa. I really love Bacopa.
You told me about that. Yeah.
Yes, Bacopa is really healthy. It's really great for brain function. I think that it's one of the most powerful herbs, in my opinion, for supporting brain health. There's ashwagandha that helps you to focus because, especially we heard people, whether it's schizophrenia, ADHD, bipolar disorder, you have to come back to center, you know, and be able to focus. There's ginseng. Ginseng is great for brain function. There's a lot of different things that you can take, you know, on a day-to-day basis that are really good for brain and overall health. You know, these don't just have functions in the brain; they have functions for the overall body. So I think it's really worth looking into the different plants that are studied because even like a lot of times, you know, one thing that bothers me, you know, anytime you read something about a herb, you'll hear it's not a lot of
Right.
studies done. You always hear that as a disclaimer. If you take ashwagandha, or if you take this, you take these things, but there's not a lot of studies done. You know, you can look at what's been going on for hundreds of years in cultures, you know, and how healthy and how well people are just because they eat a certain diet.
Yep.
You know, these herbs are food. They're not just, they, what you put in your body is supposed to be medicine. You know, it's a lot of people who can attest to that. You know, even if it's not necessarily done in a scientific lab setting, you can consciously, you know, go ask, you know, somebody how is this benefiting me? You know, what are the effects of this? You know, I even have college students, those same herbs that I describe, they come to me and say, Kayla, you know, can you make me a blend? I have a test. Kayla, I have a lot of anxiety. You know, you got that CBD?
Yes.
You got that?
Okay.
You know, I need to relax. I have anxiety. You cannot possibly tell me that, you know, people are not people are not benefiting from there are no benefits to taking herbs. And even like I said, even if it's not necessarily scientifically studied and researched a lot in the lab, well, that's a question of where's the money going.
Okay.
You know, so a lot of times the money is going to the research that, you know, they want to fund, and it may not necessarily be what benefits everyone. And so I think that's why, like, it's so important to me to kind of bring in um, the herbal aspect, because at the end of the day, as scientists, everything that I do in the lab, and I've been in research since 2013, the majority, the majority of the research, even though it doesn't come off in in an herbal way, they went to a herbal source, to make that medicine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only gap. People not knowing that the gap between science and the gap between taking herbs is that at the end of the day, the science came from a lot of the science came from the plants, and man may have manipulated it in a way that they may see to be beneficial for whatever reason they feel is beneficial, and it may do harm, and it may have some benefits. So you just have to be mindful of what you're taking.
Right. That part. Yes. And we're going to go a little bit of that sea moss because I was around someone who I feel had some bouts of schizophrenia and certain things like that. And I was there when they were starting to eat more sea moss, and because I was big on health and stuff, and I could see there was some changes going on with that just from them taking sea moss every day. So that could be a something on to something else. Okay.
Yeah. No, most definitely, because the way sea moss works, so everyone will say, okay, sea moss has 102 minerals. They talk about the minerals, it's good for the body, but a lot of times, like these minerals, they kind of work as like catalysts. They help to trigger reactions in the body. It's kind of like a car. When you have your car, you want your engine to turn on. You don't want to be sitting there for 30 minutes trying to turn on the engine and doing all that. You need something that spark, you need that to help, start that car. And that's what, the minerals in sea moss, that's what makes them so valuable, because it's just like giving your body that spark. And we need that. We need that. We wake up, we work hard, we're tired, we need that spark to keep going. It's amazing, how many benefits sea moss has. Just like I said, through the diet, for your skin. You can even use sea moss gel as a face mask. A lot of people in other countries, they use it as a face mask. It keeps the skin, bouncy, young. Try it. Incorporate sea moss and make it into a face mask. You'll love it. You can use that gel 10 different ways.
I believe it. I love it. Like that. I love sea moss. And you also ship over like the states.
Yeah, we ship everywhere. So we ship worldwide, nationwide. We ship the smoothies. We can't ship we can't ship the smoothies overseas.
Dang. Okay. Sorry, y'all. You got to come up here to the states. Okay.
It will take too long, but we ship all the products. The smoothies, we keep them cold on dry ice, so that by the time it gets to you, we ship smoothies to the East Coast, and everything stays fresh. So yeah, no, we definitely ship. What else did I want to say? Can't remember.
Go ahead.
But yeah, we ship packages everywhere.
If you remember the thought, let it come back. I'm going to read just a few of the testimonials that were on the website. I love them. They was gagging me. I was loving it. I said, we got to talk a little bit. So one of them says, I only use the oil, meaning the hair oil, a couple times because I haven't straightened my hair for a few months. It works amazing. It really moisturizes my strands way better than any other products that they've used over the years. She said, thank you. I love it. And we have another that says, I don't exercise how I should. And then it says, what is that? So when I play basketball twice a month, my back hurts tremendously. Since taking the supplements that they were given, their back hasn't hurt and they be balling. Okay. Period. And then we got one says, I am in love with the alkaline black detox. So me too. It has completely transformed my skin health. This is now part of my daily routine. That's what I said earlier. Making it daily, making it a thing to keep it going, because isn't it a thing where your skin detoxes every 7 years?
Yeah, the skin detoxes. And so you want to make sure you're supporting it throughout that journey. Every day we be outside. The air quality, everything coming into our pores. If we could actually see everything that's in the air, we'd be like,
yeah, you're right.
So we want to release that, and not only I talk about like how people say, the viruses are in the air and people will be wearing a mask and stuff. Even before that, I was thinking about, nobody thinks about all that stuff. That stuff goes into your hair too. It goes like how cigarette smoke and all those things can hold into your hair. Everything else can be held into your strands.
Yes.
And these things, we have pores. When we put stuff on our body, things go inside. Because a lot of times, like, people will say, like, the oil, it just absorbs. Well, where does it go? It's really going into our skin. What can go through our pores? Chemicals, those things can go inside of it. So it's so important that they're very nutrient rich, that we read our ingredients, look at our ingredients, because it really affects us.
Yes, and we got a quick question here. I know you don't have any hair masks, but y'all ain't gonna need no hair masks. Just put this stuff on your hair, baby. It's gonna be.
Just let me know, because I have hair masks that I recommend.
Okay.
Like, even though I don't make them, there's a Rasol clay. Rasol clay is a really good clay from Africa that
What's
people
it called?
use. Rasol, RHASSOUL. I think if you Google it, Google will spell check it.
Right.
And it's a red clay, and it's great for detoxing the hair. There is bentonite clay. Like, Rasol is kind of gentle, so I personally like Rasol because it doesn't strip the hair. But let's say your hair has a lot of buildup, it's really oily, it's really greasy, you did a lot to it, and then you may want to use bentonite clay. It's bentonite. It's bentonite clay. It's gray, and it's really great for pulling out everything from the hair. And I do that because, for one, for our hair doesn't need to be washed every day, but when we do, we want to just release like all of that buildup. And I think, like, before shampooing, I always recommend, like, if you don't wash your hair frequently, do a hair mask. Either way, I think it's always beneficial. I've never had a downside to using like hair masks. Those are really good. Like the bentonite, the Rasol clay. What else? I think it's always good to take those, any herbs that you like. This is what I like to do. I'm gonna tell y'all like my little secrets that I do. So I take the clay, and I put like an herb that I like, that I feel like may be good. It could be any simple herb that you can get. You can go get some ginger or something that's just very nutrient rich. You can get sea moss, and you can get just a blend, and you just put that all on the hair, and then you let that sit until it becomes like a little bit hard, and then you rinse it off. Because you can take that clay mask and you can add just about anything that you want to it that you feel like will support your hair's health. But those two, when I do the bentonite clay, mix it with my herbal blend, I feel like not only is my hair getting detox, it's getting nutrients. So I always try to incorporate herbs into my mask too.
Yes. Love that. Thank you so much for that. I have to answer your question, Brianna.
Yeah.
What was that?
But in the sea moss, put the sea moss.
This.
Even if it's not, honestly, after you do your mask and you rinse that off, put the sea moss in your hair. It will help to define your curls. You can rinse it out if you like. You can leave it in. You do a twist out. It will change the texture of your hair to where I feel like what it's supposed to be. Because when we come out the womb, our hair is always so soft. It's always so hydrated. I feel like sea moss helps to keep that hair extra hydrated. Like, we coming out the womb again. I love it.
I do too. I be gagging. And I'm telling y'all that stuff. I started to feel, because I have coming from hair damage myself. So you say you drink sea moss, good. And so, like, just utilizing those products, I literally saw my hair curling again. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, because it was, I had the relaxer, they straightened it out a little bit, but it was left in there too long. So it had damage. And when I started seeing that curl come back, I was like, thank you, Koko Love. Okay.
Oh, I'm happy you liked it, because it really helps. Because you know they have it's a recent unfortunate lawsuit, you know, about the perms, and they talk
Oh
about
no.
well, I don't. It pops up on my feed. I feel like it popped up on everyone's feed.
I need to apply. I need to get a couple million.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
about the perms, it going through the skin, penetrating the scalp, and causing a lot of women, especially, to have ovarian cancer. And because when they developed this cancer, some people it was so bad they couldn't even have kids. And I've known people to have issues with their ovaries, you know,
Yep.
whether it's a cyst
My
on their
sister.
ovaries, pain in their ovaries. And then when that lawsuit happened, you know, I was like, wow, you know, because a lot of us grew up getting perms. And I was like, it's ridiculous
Yeah.
to think, you know, so that made me, like, even though I'm already mindful, that just made me want to make sure I tell people even more
Yes.
that this stuff, anything that we put on us, it is going into us.
Period.
You know, so we have to be very, very mindful.
Yes.
Fibroids, and I meet a lot of black women with fibroids. So that I just see the comment,
Mm-hmm.
and it's terrible. It's terrible
And that
how
goes.
things are affecting our
Yeah.
reproductive system as
And that
women.
goes into your. I was going to talk a little bit about like you have focus, you know, overall health for everybody, but you also you put a word in there for the women's health, and this is
Hmm.
a part of that, and that needs to be told and shared because like they some people got told too late. You know what I'm saying? And they had these things going on. Like my sister, she had cysts, but she started like, you know, changing her ways of eating. It kind of, you know, made things better for her. But like, how would we know if that, you know, made that happen? Because they would get perms every year.
Yeah. Yeah, so I haven't looked into exactly like how they're figuring it out. Like I don't have no receipts from when my mama gave me a perm back in
Right.
elementary, and it's like, but I guess they're doing it based upon if a person develop these health
Mm-hmm.
conditions, you know, they go through a survey, ask them if they have um, perms, and it's just unfortunate. And in my opinion, is is knowing that we buy these products and we want our hair to look a certain way, we want a certain texture, maybe it's our hair, just to be able to manage it because we have to learn how to take care of our hair and to man. Yeah, someone just wrote. She
Yes.
said my mama hair said your hair is too thick. You know, my sister, she had very very thick hair. My sister is very light skinned, you know, and her hair is much thicker texture than mine, very long too. And my grandmother was like, it's too much to deal with. It's too much just permanent,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
And I feel like our parents, their intention was just to be able to maintain
yeah.
our hair, but they weren't educated about what these chemicals mean. And
Right.
I think that that's like the selling point of a lot of these products because they bet on people not actually turning that bottle around. And then when they actually do see those chemicals, they're not going to look this up. You know, they're going to just, you know, go and see if it works and what the reviews are.
Mm-hmm. Watch
But
the
then down the
commercials.
line,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if there is a lawsuit, you know, they've already made so much money. They've made so much money on this stuff to where, okay, yeah, okay, you know, we pay them out, you do the
Right.
settlement. But it just has long lasting effects. You know, even back when, you know, syphilis, like when they used to test, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they were injecting black
Mm-hmm.
people with syphilis and just how that was causing them to get
Mm-hmm.
STDs. You know, they were passing that
Spread
on
it right.
to their partners, and they even began to lose limbs. Syphilis can be so serious to where you can lose limbs, and they know, researchers know, scientists know, we know that this stuff affects us, you know, for generations. So at the end of the day, you know, we we have to be mindful. We have to be mindful of the position that we are in. If we are a consumer, we have to be very, very mindful of what we put into our body, what we buy, what we use. You know,
Mm-hmm.
ask as many questions as you can. You know, even when I would go to the doctor, you know, I don't really go to the doctor anymore. But when I was younger, when I would go to the doctor, I would just ask so many questions. And maybe because I'm in the science field, but I'm asking so many questions. And if you keep asking questions, you'll learn that there's things that your doctor doesn't know.
Right.
You know, you know, I, they, you're going to eventually realize that you know a lot.
Yep.
You know a lot, and you know your body more than anybody,
Yes.
and you have to take your time and just, because sometimes when we're working so hard, we can't even feel what our body is going through. You know, we have to rest, we have to meditate, we have to give ourselves time to, rebalance and figure out what's going on, because the things like with the perm, how it affected the ovaries. Look how many years have gone by,
Years.
decades
Yes.
before it was linked to perms. And perms of all things, you would think like, okay, these cancers are just things that we put into our diet. It might have been something that we were eating, but it was actually a chemical, that we put on our scalp. And we're thinking at the least, we're just going to get burnt, just a burning, paining feeling and change our hair texture and make our hair fall out, but not knowing how it was affecting our ovaries. And not just that, what else did it affect that what hasn't been talked about. So I would just say, going forward, the best thing we can do is, now that we know, that the perm affects our ovaries, taking things that are specific for ovary support, things that are good for fibroids, things that I've found to be beneficial. Grapefruit is a really good, powerful blend that supports ovary health. Garlic is really important. It really supports it as well. Incorporating into your diet. You can look on YouTube. There's a woman. She makes a grapefruit and garlic blend. Now I don't know. I can't handle the taste. I tried it.
I bet it works.
And she was helping a lot of people. She was helping a lot of people, and a lot of people benefit from the what's it called? The grapefruit and garlic blend. But you can also take it separate. You can have a snack in the day with grapefruit.
That's for
Get
the
the
advance,
garlic in your pasta, a little bit later, and you may see those benefits. I can say that I take it, and I've seen benefits of taking it. I've always recommended it to people with fibroids. Take things that are alkaline to support the fibroid health, the ovary health, because it can be painful. It can be, dealing with fibroids can be very painful, and things can trigger it. It's certain like sweeteners, too much sugar, like especially the cane sugar, fried food. You'll have like a lot more pain in your fibroids, ovaries. So the number one thing I always say, change the diet, go easy on yourself, and just in the most balanced way that works for you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful. And we're going to happen. This is the last testimonial because I love it. It said, it works. I had no hair in the top of my head, and now I do. I said, yes.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And like that, your scalp, like you said, so much can happen just when you working on your scalp.
Yeah.
Like we just mentioned, putting the toxins in your scalp can cause you so many issues and problems that you didn't know.
I actually need to post that because I do have a client. They were completely bald, and then they start growing their hair back. Using my products. They have braids now. When I say bald, I mean like 2
yes,
okay?
I believe you.
And they haven't had hair since like the 90s. They've been bald for that long. They started using the products. The hair is growing back. And even that particular person who left that comment, I remember working with them. That one was a woman. She was trying to grow her hair, and she began to see progress. And that's what I want. With consistency brings progress. And one thing that people may not know, like those products, two clients I was talking about, they weren't changing their diet. They didn't change the diet at all. They were
Okay.
just using the external products and putting them directly on their hair. And being consistent, being gentle with their hair, leaving it alone, not putting anything harsh on it. Because a lot of times, even sometimes our hair just wants to be left alone. You know, if we wear protective styles, that helps. Because I don't think personally, um, not for everybody, a product alone doesn't work. You have to have a good routine too. I think it's important to, like, when you wake up, massage your scalp, you know, get the blood circulating, because the bloodstream, when we eat food, the nutrients from the food go into the bloodstream. The bloodstream, if you looked at the anatomy of the body, the bloodstream is pumping nutrients into your hair oil. And that oil is coming out of your scalp. So the nutrients that are in your hair oil, that came directly from your diet. You know, genetics do play a part as well, but then you can also compensate for that. You know, if your hair is not growing as fast, or you think that you just want some extra support, even if your hair is growing, you want to know how to enhance and how to support, because you can have hair today and then eventually develop alopecia. It's very common, especially, you know, especially with the things and chemicals we have put on our hair. So we need to know, you know, in times, you know, how to recover. Even in times of stress, we may neglect our hair or neglect our skin routines, and we need to know, you know, how to get that back. But those scalp massages and just taking care of ourselves, all of those play, you know, a factor, and it takes time and patience. You know, hair doesn't. Some people ask, how fast is it gonna grow? You
As
know.
fast as you work with it, because honestly, if you doing the whole nine and doing your health, baby, that stuff gonna start growing.
Yeah, and then you have to know, take your time with your
Yes,
body. You know, some
I'm an
people, they may start
extremist.
seeing results in a month, it may be 2 months, it may be 6 months. Like the person I worked with, that they were balding, that took about a year to where they can now wear their hair in braids, and they're still working on. It's just a few areas. And so now I'm trying to, you know, encourage them more. Like, let's change the diet a little bit. You know,
Yes,
you know,
see, yes.
we on a good pace with the external products. Let's go into the diet side and see if we can help to enhance things,
Yes.
because I can't say, like, you know, I can cure everybody's condition and um, anything that they're dealing with, but I can do my best. You know, I can do my best, share the knowledge that I know, and I want to just quickly say, you know, I work with a lot of people who have a lot of different conditions. I have people who have, like, herpes simplex, the herpes as well, and I have a client right now. They would get outbreaks every month, and this person, a lot of people don't know, you can be born with herpes. You know,
Yeah.
if your parent has herpes, you can be born with it if that parent has an outbreak during childbirth. And that person was born with herpes, and they would get outbreaks on their face, on their hands, and they would get them almost every month. They now use, like, all our alkaline products for their hair and skin. They changed to a primarily plant-based diet. They haven't had an outbreak in almost 6 months, and it took time. You know, at first they would instead of 1 month, it'd be like 2 months. They didn't have an outbreak, and then eventually it increased. So right now, they've gone 6 months without having an outbreak, and I'm like, okay, we making progress. You know, to be born with a health condition, and now they're not doing a plant-based diet anymore. They're back eating like meat and things, but they're eating it in moderation.
Right.
You know, they're just eating a healthy balance of both. Because before, anything that was gluten, it would flare out. It would flare up, cause them to have an outbreak. Um, Too much sugar, too much dairy, it will cause them to have an outbreak. Because a lot of people, when they do have, like, the herpes, they don't know that, they may not know that certain foods can trigger it. And once you realize that, once you change your diet, you can kind of help control it as well.
Yeah.
I work with people who have HIV/AIDS. They have reached that people have reached out to me, for support of their immune system because HIV attacks the immune system. So I always give any advice that I can to support the immune system health. I always say, I have to always give a disclaimer, check with your trusted doctor. But everyone that I have worked with, they have benefited, and I always try to, like I said, share this because even if it doesn't work for you, it may work for someone that you may know. And a lot of people get referred to me by someone. Even though we are a small company, I have family, I have friends, and they would say, call Kayla, reach out to her, get some advice, and even, like I said, even if I don't have the answer, I will do my due diligence to see, what's out there, or try to refer you to somebody who may specialize in that care, especially in that area for you. That's all. That's all. I know I took more than a few minutes.
No, we listening. We sponges today. We taking it in. I'm gonna tell my mama. I'm like, look, you need to call her because she deal with certain things too, and like it's good for women to have someone that is because we got male doctors, and sometimes they don't have a lot of access to a female person, the doctor that will help them and will balance the scales a little bit on what you can use here and there. And I feel like you are a great conduit, especially for those melanated creatures like ourselves. You know what I mean? You gotta throw that in there.
Because doctors are people. You have to, because a lot of time you get caught up in the title. Like if you are working with me, I'm a person like you're a person. That doctor. Doctors have biases. We in the field behind the scenes we have to deal with racism. I have to deal with racism working in this field. And, science is supposed to be for the people, but there's a lot of scientists that don't actually like people. They like science. They like doing experiments. Like how often do you see a scientist walking around? They're in the lab, and we are. What is like? We're just like people think that we're like very socially awkward, like that's how scientists get portrayed and antisocial. And some of those things are true to an extent, but when you have a doctor, when you have a scientist, you have to look at them. You have to look at them. You have to say, are they in good health? Do you believe that they're in good health? Do you think that they actually care about me as a person, or do they care about their job? Or are they just pulling my teeth because they get paid for every tooth they pull, or do I really have a toothache and that needs to have a root canal? You have to look at everybody like a human being first before you look at their qualifications. Look at them as a human being. Pay attention to how they interact with you. Pay attention to energy, because it's real. We are made of energy. Physics is a whole field of science. We are that. So it's so many overlaps in everything natural that people do as herbalists. It's just so many science. It's just so many overlaps. So where we just have to just look at people as people and just really trust in our intuition and trust in ourselves.
Yes, and you're right. And I will say that like my family, my parents, they look at titles. So sometimes I don't get hurt, or at least in the past didn't get hurt as much just because I didn't have this and that under my name. But I'm like, that's okay. Y'all ain't gotta, you gotta fool with it. But
you let your work speak for yourself. Look at Dr. Sebi. Did he go to college? I'm getting my doctorate, but did Dr. Sebi?
Right. Okay. So and that's what you're saying. Let the work speak, because when they start seeing you, and like how, like for me and my situation, they start seeing me and how I'm moving and what I, they're like, oh, well, you might know something. And I'm like, yeah. But then, like, just for them, it would be good to have somebody, as yourself, who does have these things, and like, for those people who need a title. You know what I mean? And then you come with a little bit more. You showing them something else, like you said. Period. I love it. I thank you so much. We're gonna wrap it up in a bit, but we're going to. I was gonna ask you a question for advice on those who are on their journey, spiritual journey, health journey. what would you share with them in this moment, and like get a little guidance for them?
I would say, your journey is your own. At the end of the day, your journey is nobody else's. You go on your journey at your own pace. You don't let anybody pressure you to move faster, to move forward, to go left, to go right on your journey because it's yours. You control your destiny because at the end of the day, you have to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have to be happy. You have to be
Happy,
happy
happy.
with your health and with the decisions that you made to support it. So even if
Mm-hmm.
something, you don't see the progress in it, it's okay. You just stay on that track. Don't just give up. Don't just give up. Oh, it's not working. Well, it's better to be progressing towards it's working than to give up and just go backwards.
Yes.
It's nothing back there. Don't even look back there. Just keep progressing forward. Keep an open mind and know that everybody plays a role. I have a role. You have a role. We all have a contribution to supporting our just well-being. I think that's what I would say on people's journey. My
Yes,
best.
thank you. And then a little side whammy. What would you say for little Kayla growing up as she's growing and going through life? Just a little.
I I would say continue. I would say just be fearless. Just be fearless. Just just don't be shy. Just let it go. Just go out there in the world. Just be your best version. You know, of you and start your business today. I was started back then in the 90s. That's what I would have told her.
Wonderful. Wonderful, thank you. So where can they find your products? I'm also going to put it in the description on YouTube and on Spotify, but give us the label
Yeah.
here on the live.
Yeah, my products, you can find them at cocolovecare.com. That's KOKO lovecare.com. You can also check out our products on our Instagram it's at Koko Love Care. And you can message us and we'll help you find the products or anything that you need to support your overall health.
Yes. All right, y'all. Thank you, Coco. Thank you, Dr. Love,
Thank you too. Thank
for
you for
being
having me.
here. Yes, much gratitude. We're gonna have this uploaded this evening or tomorrow, but we give you thanks. Thank you, everybody who joined in the comments. Thank you, the moderator, and you all stay amazing. Thank you, Coco Love. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you too. You guys take lots of care.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.